Hello, fellow pit ponies, and welcome to our special bonus episodes that we've put together for your pleasure, which capture those beautiful moments at the end of our episodes, in which our guests share with you the magical experiences they've enjoyed since leaving the classroom. We refer to them affectionately as the sliding doors stories. The stories are different, unique, and incredibly powerful, and serve as an inspiration to us all. So on behalf of myself and Sarah, enjoy. Jane Lloyd, classroom teacher to artist, sliding doors story.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to like the moment when you actually open your front door and you go to leave and you are rushing, you're going to the car, it's dark, you've got to get in that car and you've got to rush and get to school. For me now, my sliding doors moment, I think, is actually opening my front door, taking a deep breath of the fresh air that I've got around me. I've got mountains, the views, the mountains, the sea, the estuary. I've got a pet sheep that comes to greet me every morning. And it's just, I really don't have any words because that is it for me in a nugget. It's that life now that is so different and it's beautiful.
Gareth Isaacs, classroom teacher to mindfulness teacher, sliding doors story.
There have probably been many. One that sticks out at this point in time is I went outdoor swimming. Somebody convinced me to give it a try. It was completely out of my comfort zone. I have a reputation of somebody who feels the cold. And, you know, I was a fair weather outdoor swimmer. It was in July when I did it. But yeah, in that moment, in the freezing cold, so not necessarily a pleasant, comfortable feeling, but out of my comfort zone, feeling vulnerable, feeling like I wasn't perfect, you know, feeling like I was out of shape and obviously I'm there with my swimming shorts on, and it felt real. It felt like I was actually in the now, in the present moment, living life, and it didn't feel like a preparation for something later, which everything else always had done. Everything else was always like, well, this isn't the real thing. This isn't it, because the real thing, the stuff that's got to be better than this will come later. I think, you know, I've probably, like a lot of people, been brainwashed by Hollywood films or something. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, so in that moment, it was like, this is it. I'm doing it. I'm living life. And as a teacher, I never felt like that. Now, again, I'm not bashing the profession or anything like that. I wouldn't advise people to leave it necessarily because, as I said, I never actually wanted to do it. It just wasn't for me. But because of what I brought to teaching and because of the experience that I had in teaching, it never really felt real. It felt like a dream, like a lot of my life has possibly. It felt like I was somebody else sleepwalking through, and like in a coma. And that moment, with all its imperfections, depending on what you think perfect is, felt real.
Brief interlude, dear listener. Couple of questions. Are you a tutor or even a pit pony considering tutoring? And do you fancy getting in the room with myself and Sarah Dunwood, learning about the wonderful world of tuition? Then why not join us at the National Tutors Conference, hosted by Connexus Tuition, on the 29th of July 2025. It's at Chesford Grange, Kenilworth. Links to the tickets are in the show notes below, and we will both see you on the other side. Elise Springett, from the classroom to Barnardo's project manager, sliding doors story.
Yeah, it's really interesting because so many come to mind, both in my professional life, in my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my family, my boys. And there's so many things I could have sat here and said, there's no way I would have experienced the things I've seen and done and the opportunities in the last year. But ultimately, I think if we had to pin it down to one thing, was I was able to go to my boys' sports days for the first time this year, which for one of my lads was his last at primary. So it was really important to be able to see that, and it was fantastic to be able to go there and be a part of that and cheer them on and have some photos with them afterwards, and just know that they knew that I was there and seeing them do these things because they love their sports, they love their competitiveness, and so I knew it meant to them a lot, and I hope to them it meant a lot to them that I was there. But even for me, just being able to see them do that and see them compete and get on and the smiles and enjoying themselves, which again, my school wasn't a no school, but a few hours out for a sports day was maybe a little bit of a stretch in terms of thing. It wasn't something I'd probably necessarily felt comfortable asking about before, but it was something that all I had to do this time was just make sure it didn't clash with my calendar of work, and I was able to do that. So that was that moment for me. If we had to sort of boil it down to one sort of incident that would best summarize wherever I definitely wouldn't have been if I was still teaching, it would be that.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the sliding doors stories of our guests, and please remember to subscribe to our channels and follow along for the magical pit pony moments that you will find at the end of our episodes every week. On behalf of myself and Sarah, see you on the other side.